You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar. Brought to you by Con Communications.
And welcome back to Overtime, everybody, where we now sound the horn of thanks for my good friend Jamar Strawberry White, who got us a Monroe City, Louisiana score. It ends up with Monroe City winning the Clopton Tournament Championship by 2 tonight, 57-55. So thank you to Jamar White, also to Grant O'Brien. You gotta love Twitter. Scores as they happen. It's a beautiful thing. But I digress. Let's move on now, and there's really no diplomatic way to describe the lopsided nature of tonight's Palmyra-Macon finale at the Highland Tournament. Tell you what, all the Palmyra fans, including the cutest young ones, all excited. They could hardly contain their smiles because their team was absolutely ridiculous in destruction mode in this one. Lexi Lawson with the own miss, then she takes matters into her own hands. What a ridiculous play by Miss Lexi. That is sensational seven-worthy. Katie Hinkle has been sensational seven-worthy all week long. Another 20 points for her today. She has been ridiculous in this tournament. If there was an MVP, she'd be it hands down. And even when she was missing, things were going right. Here it's Emily Bross with a cleanup job. 25-2 out of the first quarter gate in favor of Palmyra against a very good Macon team, no less. Tell you what, Palmyra just playing at another level. That was the freshman Nicole Krieger from the outside knocking down a triple. She's going to be phenomenal over the next 4 years. Just unfair. Palmyra has her on the bench and a couple of good sophomores as well. Palmyra wins this thing going away tonight over Macon, 78-26 to take its third straight Highland Tournament Championship. Elsewhere on the docket at Highland today, in the third place game, Knox County gets a little revenge for the boys and knocks off Hannibal in the same pairing of the boys' third place game, but this time it was Knox County getting the win. And in the consolation championship this morning, Clark County beats Highland 40-35 in a bit of a minor upset. Girls action today. You know it's going to be a fun Camp Point Central tournament when Evan McGaffey's fan club shows up early. Gotta love the Lady Panther Classic. Wild one early on between Central Southeastern and West Hancock. For my money, the best matchup of the day. Great pass right there from Shelby Kaler to Haley Hamill. And then Miss Hamill was very active in the early going in this one. Jumps on the Carly Runge miss and converts nicely. Central Southeastern would answer. Madison Steinkamp throws one inside to Erin Flessner, the defensive specialist. She can play a little offense as well. Still, the Titans answering. Allison DeWald, who else you going to feed? Girl with a hot hand. Haley Hamill getting it done. Erin Flessner, though, answering back in kind. Jump shot from the free throw line. She'll use the window, but that's fair. Madison Steinkamp, just a monster game in this one. She kept her team alive early and got it back tied with West Hancock at this point. West Hancock, though, using some defense right here to take the lead back into its own hands by one at this point. Allison DeWald, the larceny, the layup at the other end. Still too much of Central in this one. Central Southeastern goes to Abigail Jansen. She's had a hot hand of late, and she's good in the low blocks, as you see right there, kissing one off the window. Then more from Madison Steinkamp, who led her team in scoring with 15. Central Southeastern wins the first of two. 60-44 was your final. There's the McGaffey fan club again. Active and fun. Brown County trying to pull off the upset early at the same tournament against the Illini West on the morning set. A hot start by Emily Kitchell was key to that. Here on the solo take, she navigates her way to a very easy bucket. Hornets up one after one. Then the pressure got turned up in this one. Michaela Gronewold causing problems, nets the freebie at the other end. Chargers transition game got ramped up as well. Miss Gronewold cleaning the glass and hooking up here with Aubrey Carlisle on the run out. That's a pretty easy two. Half-court game wasn't bad either for the Chargers in this one. Miss Carlisle, the astute pass here to Elise Trout. Nice bucket and conversion for her. The biggest pick-me-up on the day and in this game in particular, Josie Finch, who had a team-high 16 points. She lets fly right here, and then it was welcome to Gracie land as Gracie Bostert running out in front of everybody, finishing up what was a very close game for the first half, turns into a Charger runaround. They get the victory in this one by the final count of 56-43. Vanessa Markert with 18 points in a losing cause for the Brown County Lady Hornets. Liberty taking on South Fulton. Hot start for the Liberty Lady Eagles in this one. Katie Cook playing the catalyst with that baseline jumper. Eagles by as many as 12 early. The tables turn quickly, though. The Eagles transition game thwarted by a steal right here from Kylie Krause, and right there it's Katy Perry roaring in for the score. Meanwhile, at the other end, Liberty trying to get back into this thing. Caitlin Obert going to hit hit a jumper right here, a cleanup jumper for 2 of her 11 points in the day. Still too much of South Fulton in the early going, 60-43 in favor of the Lady Rebels. Summer Burgard with 15 points in that one. Other scores from the rest of the day at the Lady Panther Classic. Havana has no problem dispatching with Unity, which started very slow in the morning going. 78-66 was your final. Tough day for Unity. More on them in a second. Brown County bounces back and gets a win over MonRose later. Vanessa Markert, are you kidding me? 31 points just doing what she does. Elsewhere on the day, still at the Lady Panther Classic, Lewistown too much for Liberty on the night side. 59-24 was your final there. Alani West makes it 2 wins today and contributes to Unity's further problems. 51-19 your final in that ball game. Also today, Central Southeastern, clean sweep for them of the day. They beat Lewistown 58-50 on the late side, and West Hancock's hard luck continues. Tough loss to Central Southeastern, tougher loss to South Fulton. Also at the North Green tournament today, Griggsville Perry felled by Triopia, and Pittsfield Pleasant Hill opens up with a win behind 19 points from J. Lee Clements. We've got some other scores for you today. In shootout action today, Quincy Notre Dame beats a very good Parkway North team with an outstanding guard. Mary Beth Hugenberg raised her game in the post to compensate. A career best 30 points for Mary Beth in the victory for the Lady Raiders. Also on the docket today, West Prairie, too much for North Fulton. Jen Schwerer, she's not just for volleyball anymore, had 19 points in the victory for her team. Also, Brimfield, too much for Rushville Industry despite the heroics of Riley Plummer. We've got West Central of Biggsville being felled by Macomb today in Macomb. Madison Worley with 11 points to lead a very balanced effort in that ball game. Also, Holy Trinity, tough loss to Waco today. Ends up losing by the final count in that one of 42-37. Allie Randolph with 8 points. Some wrestling notes to pass along. The Keokuk Chiefs finished 6th out of 10 today at the Linn-Mar Duels, but the Chiefs did have 2 gentlemen who went undefeated in their respective weight class, Dakota Shaw and Brant O'Shea. So pretty good showing for the Chiefs at the top of the lineup. Really good showing for West Hancock today as well. At home wrestling against a very good Knoxville squad. In that affair today, Caleb Adams was really kind of the hero on the scene. Scored a first period pinfall to help kind of give the margin of points to get his team going. Caleb Adams leading the Titans to a victory over Knoxville. Final count was 42-28. Well, after a brief holiday break, Seeds of Greatness is back now to honor the next generation of Tri-State sports stars. A sneak peek ahead to the 15 and under set that will soon be dominating our highlight reel on a nightly basis. Tonight, the focus is wrestling and a precocious freshman who's threatening to break all kinds of new ground at 10th and Jackson.
Seeds of Greatness brought to you by Burris Hybrids.
Very coachable kid, and he's willing to take on everybody in the room. He's just a very aggressive worker. He drills really hard. He comes in with a great work ethic.
There is a record that I really want to break. Is making it 2 state. Because no freshman's ever made that, and I really want to do that. It's one of my biggest goals right now.
He's off to an impressive start with individual weight class titles at both the Clinton and Argenta-Oriana tournaments, as well as a newly earned state ranking. But credit a bit of early adversity to bringing out the best in Ashton Myers.
His first 2 matches of the year were both losses. He wrestled up at 113 and wrestled Lucy of West Hancock and Beard of IVC. And those are 2 tough matches, but that was a nice introduction to high school. But he took both of them with a grain of salt. We watched video and worked on what happened during those matches, and he's been rolling ever since.
It kind of made me a little mad that I had those 2 losses, but I fought back. But once I won that Clinton, it made me a lot more confident with my matches, and I wrestled a lot smarter now.
106, there are some upperclassmen, but there are a lot of mainly sophomores and juniors in there, but again, with him being a freshman, and he's really kind of a small freshman at that. To see him take after it with the aggressiveness that he has, he just takes everything in stride and just keeps working on trying to improve.
Straight up to video here. You are looking at former Southeastern High School and John Wood standout Reagan Bringer, who plays for UIS, who was not recruited by Quincy University. Keep that in mind as you watch these highlights today. Chris Babbitt with the early take, trying to get his team going. Silky smooth in transition, but Bringer would have a monster first half for the opponents in this one. The Prairie Stars looking to him. He had 14 points, highly efficient in the first half, an 8-point lead at that juncture in favor of the Prairie Stars. Look at Scotty Bruxford going up to get down, throws down the huge slam right here, and then Herm Senor hooking up right here with Chris Babbitt, who had the nice jumper. Still, this game about the Prairie Stars and about Bringer, as Reagan finished the day with a game-high 24 points. His team gets a big-time victory on the road. And to steal a line from Fight Club, just kind of quoting Reagan's psyche here, I am Reagan's smirking revenge. So, big vengeance today as Illinois Springfield gets the win, 106-99. Elsewhere on the men's college docket, Western Illinois was down 12 points to Omaha at home in the second half. It took a tall glass of Remy to get this done, but Remy Roberts-Burnett hits down a key jumper, forces overtime, and the Next get a win they needed desperately, 79-72. High drama at Western Hall tonight. Illinois College not as fortunate on the road, losing to Beloit today. The John Wood Trailblazers get a nice win over North Central on the road. Brody Gronewold among those who reached double figures in scoring on this day. Culver Stockton, nationally ranked, hangs on to beat Baker on the road, 69-60. James Johnson with 21 in that one. Tough day for HLG on all fronts, taking on third-ranked Columbia College and losing by the final count of 67-51. Not a great start for the Quincy University women, but just about good enough in this one as Hannah Weidman kind of gets things going with the early spin move right here. She had 11 points on the day. And check this out. Maggie Cunningham with one of the prettiest moves you will ever see. Coming hard angle on this one. She gets fouled and somehow spins that home with sort of the pool billiards masse move to get that to fall down. Story on this day, though, for the Lady Hawks, of course, Lucy Cramsey from distance. 3 of her 12 points on the day. Hannah Weidman, as I mentioned, with 11. The Lady Hawks weren't nearly as elegant as they were on Thursday, but they just keep winning and proving that national ranking is well-deserved. 78-61, your final in favor of the Lady Hawks. College docket elsewhere on the day. Western Illinois wins on the road. Tori Neiman, the Canton product, former KHQA Player of the Year, 11 points, but more importantly here, a career high in steals today with 6. I think she also had 7 assists, if memory serves me right. Also, Illinois College gets a big-time win over Beloit. Brittany Burgess out of Jacksonville with 13 points to help lead the way. The John Wood women, hard luck losers in overtime despite the continued heroics of Shea O'Brien, who had 19. Also, as I mentioned, tough day for HLGU as well, losing to Columbia College. Big numbers day for Ashley Hurd-Spencer, who's been on fire of late as she posts the double-double with the 21 points and the 11 rebounds. Also, the Culver Stockton women felled by a very good Baker team today. Final count in that one was 76-47. Time now to finally announce our winners for the month of December in the Con Communications Connection Contest. You voted. Plenty of really good highlights from last month, but the outstanding TREVOR MENY from Palmyra, with sort of his wizardry of passing early in the month, was your winner by a landslide in the votes, and by voting among those voters, Janice Spears was our randomly drawn winner, I should say. Tough for me to say. Janice Spears wins a gift card, which we hope she will put to good use. Thanks for voting and continue to vote. You too have a chance to win. So let's start up the January roll, and it starts with us trying to get Gage Klitz and Lance Buelig a little love again this month, largely because they were the best highlights we had. Hey, fair is fair. If you do it by a meritocracy, that's how you do it. These two guys hooking up again on that phenomenal alley-oop slam dunk today at the Winchester tournaments. They are your first nominee. We'll have plenty more good ones, I can assure you, as the month rolls on, and we'll have more overtime as the Saturday night rolls on in just a minute. And thanks for joining us again here on Overtime, and thanks for bearing with me as my voice turned squeaky tonight with this cold. Hey, want to remind you, our man Will Wilson has a really unique, interesting story for you tomorrow. Said a number of times the Winchester Invitational Tournament, one of my favorite. It has its own unique history, and it has its own historian. Will introduce you to him tomorrow night right here. We'll see you back here on Monday for a busy night of continuing tournament basketball action. Have a great weekend, everybody.